In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. All things were made through him, and without him nothing was made that was made.
For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believes in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. For God did not send his Son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world through him might be saved.
Good evening, friends, countrymen, internetonians. I am your host, Jake Johnson, and you're watching The Deep End, Untethered Live Bible Study on Monday night. It's Monday night. Can't believe it. It's already Monday night, and I feel great. I would like to apologize up front and foremost and for always and for now. I'm sorry about last night. I ate dinner at my sister's house after quite a long day outside riding around looking for birthday presents for my son. And I finally got that done. And then I went to my sister's house, and she's got a cat and 2 little dogs. And apparently I was having some kind of allergy attack last night. I coughed and sneezed all night long. I could not stop coughing and sneezing. But I feel better today. And I apologize for the short podcast last night, but it wasn't getting better. And I needed to rest the voice and, breathe. So that's what I did. Hey, Kevin Cox. Here I am to save the Jake. And the Caucasian Sasquatch. Hey, buddy. Good to see you guys. Thank y'all for putting up with me last night, and I apologize about that. I have bad days, and that was one of them. I am still at the office waiting on some hot babe named April to get me. She may never get you, buddy. You may be beyond gettable. But she loves you. And as long as she loves you, she don't have to get you. You could go right over her head or under it. Don't do that, though, because it might hurt. I'm finishing off the last of my stogie. Enjoying it very much. See, you got a good podcast there, Caucasian. People like it. You're very existential in your own crisis. I am a hot 25-year-old. She will get me. You're 25 like I'm Abe Lincoln. 7 years ago. Anyway, we're going to try it again tonight and see if I can get through it without killing myself coughing and gagging and sneezing and snorting and blowing and going and you ever heard that song? It's a good song. Ned Nostril, Ray Stevens. Check it out if you hadn't heard it. That was me last night. Ned Nostril in the South Seas Paradise. Put your blues on ice. Cheap at twice the price band. It's all you can stand. Books solid and in demand all across the land. Hey, babe. Abe. Hey, Abe. Why, hello. I shaved. And my hat's not on, and I'm not 7.5 feet tall, but are you 25? You can't be 25. No, you're like my age, right? Crickets. Caucasian, what were you doing earlier? I saw a notification, but I didn't have time to check it out. What was it about? Was that just a short, or was that a podcast? Speaking of shorts, I haven't had time to film my strange things, but I've got some stuff in the works, and I will get to it probably tomorrow. Hey, there's an April. Hey, darling. Thank you for the lovely photographs and video. I received them this afternoon, so thank you for that. And I will share them with everyone eventually. Aquaponic short. Okay. I'll check it out when I have a minute. I just got home from work like 30 minutes ago, 45 minutes ago, so the podcast premieres tomorrow. Okay, 8 p.m. I'll check it out. Yes, I am on my way to get you, Kevin. I'll be there as soon as I can get there. Oh, Lord, I feel it coming on. Sports update, Kevin Cow. Georgia pummeled the Mayo Tigresses. What is a Mesos Tigresses? Is that what that says? Mesos? The Mesos Tigresses. Saturday, they are 9-0 and taking on the Tennessee Vols this weekend. Still number one, baby. Go F yourselves. Dogs! Woof. I am feeling better. Thank you very much. I had some kind of serious allergy attack yesterday. Like I said, I spent the whole afternoon freezing and riding across town and in the rain and everything else, looking for birthday presents because there was one thing I couldn't find, and apparently no one has it, so I had to compromise. But it was quite the trek. And then I went and ate dinner with my sister, and she's got a cat and 2 little dogs, and I'm allergic to cat dander, or dander in general. And so by the time I got home, I was running a fever and coughing and sneezing, and it just would not get better. So I decided to call it a short night because it was not getting better, and it would have got worse, and I didn't want y'all to have to listen to me gagging on the air. So I do apologize, but I'm back in form, and I feel better today and ready to do some reading. Missouri Tiger, okay, Missouri, gotcha. Misery, gotcha. Okay, I didn't get that reference at first, but I got it now. Hunker down, wolf. Squatch for president. Damn, that's pretty respectful there, Squatch. What if I ran for president? I'm just kidding. I wouldn't dare. Don't want that job. Man, I wish I had a box full of these. These are delicious. If I had a box full of them, though, I'd probably smoke them, and they're not good for you when you smoke a bunch of them. It's probably better than cigarettes, though. I don't know. I never tried. I know you smoke a lot less of them because they're big. But I always have trouble breathing after I smoke a cigar. Not really trouble, it's just heavier breathing. No, but I'm willing to interview him for the channel. He has my vote. I started here. I will give $100 to his campaign if he runs. Damn. Can't beat that, Sasquatch. I'd run. Me too, the cat thing, yeah. I don't know what it is. The older I get, the worse it gets. I used to not be allergic to anything, but cats, I can't take it, man. Whatever they put off, and it's not hair. I don't think that's it. I don't know exactly what dander is, but I don't like it, whatever it is. Can't breathe. My nose itches. Throat closes up. It's not good. And the older I get, the worse the reaction gets. What do you think of the new background? It's a little different than the other one. Kevin is your man for cigars. Is he? Does he smoke? Well, I very seldom ever smoke cigars. I'm not a cigar guy. But occasionally, they're lovely. One every now and then. It's a man thing. Little reward or whatever. But I don't smoke them very often. Should, though. They're delicious. And I love it when a plan comes together. Yeah, I wouldn't smoke them on a regular basis. Coughing worse, and that's probably why you're coughing. No, I was coughing because I was having an allergic reaction last night. And I feel much better today because I've been away from it for 24 hours. Looks kind of like a Mandelbrot. I don't know what it is. I asked him to give me one of their best sellers, and this is the one they handed me. So apparently it's favored. I probably should have looked, but doesn't matter. I was going to burn it anyway. I ordered new Christmas stockings at Amazon. They just informed me they are on the way. Merry Christmas early. Merry Christmas early. I ordered a gift for my son. After I ordered it, cost like $100 and something too. After I ordered it, I found out it was in China. I don't know if it's going to get here by Christmas or not. I'm kind of upset about that they can do that. That they can misrepresent themselves like they're in the U.S. and then come to find out they're in China, which means it has to go through customs. And then, depending on what it's made out of, there's a slim possibility that customs will take it, and then I'll never get it, and I'm out $100. So that's not very nice of them to do that. I don't like China. Oh, the background looks Mandelbrot. I thought you were talking about the cigar. No, it's just swirlies. I don't know what a Mandelbrot is then. Is that a painter? The other one was like the psychedelic angles, blue angles, kind of vaguely resembled crosses in the background when they crisscross, which was lovely, but it's a little boring, so I wanted to spice it up a little. I like the color blue behind me, though. It makes my eyes pop and dance. Yep, it's just swirlies. Just swirlies, kind of like the smoke. I like it. I love the blue and the black. Yeah. It's the one I normally use. Go away, background. Is this one. And that's nice, but it's a little bit Star Trek-y. It's a little bit bland. It doesn't have a lot of personality, but that was kind of the intention, take away from the background. But sometimes I use this when I'm serious. But this is the one, I think, for now. Might change later on. Ooh, creepy. That's probably going to make my camera freak out now. All right. Where's the old Diego at? When he gets here, we'll get started. I'm looking for something unique, though, so if you guys find anything that you really like, send it to me, and I'll put it up. Background, I mean. If you really dig it. Ooh. I broke down on the side of the road today. My voltage regulator went out on my motorcycle. Had to call somebody to come get me in a trailer. Because you don't push a Harley. It's over 1,000 pounds. pretty heavy. Anyway, it ain't like pushing a bicycle. And I got a bunch of stuff on it, saddlebags and backbags and windshields and big tires. And I just call somebody. Come get me. I need help. So now I've got to buy a voltage regulator and get that fixed. It's another thing. My truck is still in the shop, going on 6 months now. The guy still hadn't got to it yet. Talked to him this afternoon. He's backed up. I told him, I said, look, dude, I'll just come down there this Saturday and start working, help you out. He was like, you do that? I was like, yeah, I kind of want my truck back. It's getting cold, So I might be a mechanic this weekend just to get my truck back. I was like, just tell me what to do and I'll fix it. Dang. I didn't give it to you. First thing I told him, I said, take your time. As long as it don't turn into months, we'll be all right. It turned into months. So apparently he took me seriously. Never tell somebody to take their time when you don't mean it, because sometimes they will. What do you think, April? What's on your mind? You must have been feeling nostalgic today to send me those pictures of my mama and your mama. Some of the youngins. That was a Christmas, but I don't appear to be there, so I was wondering when that was. And where I was. I don't even know where I was then. And I can't really remember y'all coming down for Christmas. So I must not have been here. Or I just forgot. A lot went on in the last 5 years, so I may have just forgot. Either way, they were nice pictures, and thank you for them. I will put them into a little collage and share them with everybody this week or next, depending on if I get enough time to do some editing this week. I haven't even got a chance to do my strange things yet. Supposed to be on Sunday, and I was strapped Sunday, so I didn't get a chance to do it. All right, ladies and gentlemen. I guess we can go ahead and get on started. It's 8:48. He'll be along shortly. It's like that. Oh, yeah. That's my new snap and get it done editor. You like that? It's cool, huh? Are you driving the motorcycle? I don't blame you. It's cold out. Yeah, I drive the motorcycle. Harry posted Saturday. It's fine. Well, I was thinking about it. I just didn't have time. I apologize. But I'll get to it. I'll get you one. I got lots of things. I just don't have lots of time. You know what I mean? You know how it is. It was a birthday. Oh, okay. That may be why I don't remember you coming for Christmas. Anyway, I appreciate the pictures. They're lovely. And they made me remember my mama. And that's always a good thing. It was early presents and stuff. Okay. When was it? Do you remember when y'all came down? Or up? I keep saying down, but we're above you. No? Well, alrighty. If you got your Bibles handy, we're in 1 Chronicles chapter 6, verse 62. Those were your house and Missy's and some in Lakeland. Yeah, I know where it was. I just don't know when it was. That was the question. It couldn't have been long before her death because she had that haircut. And her hair was a lot longer than that usually. So it must have been in the last couple years. I just can't imagine why I wasn't there. Maybe I was holding the camera. I don't know. I just don't remember it. Either way, let's get some reading, see if I can trip over some more words. Strap in, here we go, blast off. And to the sons of Gershom, throughout their families, out of the tribe of Issachar, and out of the tribe of Asher, and out of the tribe of Naphtali, and out of the tribe of Manasseh and Bashan, 13 cities. Unto the sons of Merari were given by lot, throughout their families, out of the tribe of Reuben, and out of the tribe of Gad, and out of the tribe of Zebulun, 12 cities. And the children of Israel gave to the Levites these cities with their suburbs. And they gave by lot, out of the tribe of the children of Judah, and out of the tribe of the children of Simeon, and out of the tribe of the children of Benjamin, these cities, which are all called by their names, the names of the people. And they gave those cities to the Levites because the Levites were priests. They didn't get an inheritance. Their inheritance was the priesthood. They got to work at the church. It's not much of a consolation. They got to do all the hard work, keep the place running, keep it clean, keep all the money up, move the tabernacle when it needs to be moved and all that stuff. And then do all the teaching too. So, because they didn't get an inheritance outright, as God divided up the land across the Jordan River, it was set upon 4 or 5 of the tribes to give some of their inheritance over to the Levites to share with them. So they got a few of the cities, and those cities they called refugee cities. So if you committed a crime and somebody was after your head, you could go to one of those cities and you'd be protected. You'd be safe there until the trial. That means that nobody would come and collect your head before a trial, a fair trial. And then if you were found guilty, then they would kill you. If you were found innocent, then you'd be set free and nobody could kill you. So that's what those refugee cities were about, or sanctuary cities, or however you want to call them. But they were shared by those tribes I just mentioned. Because Levi didn't have no homes. Interestingly enough, the number of the man, 666. That's what verse we're in now. And the residue of the families of the sons of Kohath had cities of their coasts out of the tribe of Ephraim. Interesting that. And they gave unto them of the cities of refuge, their refugee cities. Like I said, Shechem in Mount Ephraim with her suburbs. They gave also Gezer with her suburbs, and Jokmeam with her suburbs, and Beth-horon with her suburbs. Try to say suburbs many times in a row and see what happens to your lips. It's really strange. And Ajalon with her suburbs, and Gath-rimmon with her suburbs. And out of the half tribe of Manasseh, the good half, Anir with her suburbs, and Belim with her suburbs, for the family of the remnant of the sons of Kohath. Unto the sons of Gershom were given out of the family of the half tribe of Manasseh, the good tribe, good half, Golan and Bashan with her suburbs, and Ashtaroth with her suburbs, out of the tribe of Issachar, Kadesh with her suburbs, Debereth with her suburbs, and Ramoth with her suburbs, Anim with her suburbs, and out of the tribe of Asher, Mashal with her suburbs, and Abdon with hers. and Hukuk with her suburbs, and Rehob with her suburbs. Out of the tribe of Naphtali, Kadesh in Galilee with her suburbs, and Hammon with hers, and Kirjathaim, that's it, Kirjathaim with her suburbs. Unto the rest of the children of Merari were given out of the tribe of Zebulun, Rimmon with her suburbs, Tabor with her suburbs. And on the other side of Jordan by Jericho, on the east side of Jordan, were given them out of the tribes of Reuben, Bezer in the wilderness with her suburbs, and Jazah with her suburbs, and Kedemoth also with her suburbs, and Miphath with her suburbs. And out of the tribe of Gad, Ramoth in Gilead with her suburbs, and Mahanaim with her suburbs, and Heshbon with her suburbs, and Jazer with her suburbs. Now, the sons of Issachar were Tola, and Puah, and Jashub, and Shimron, 4. And the sons of Tola, Uzi, and Rephaiah, and Jeriel, and Jahmai, and Jibsam, and Shemuel, heads of their father's house, to wit, of Tola. They were valiant men of might in their generations, whose number was in the days of David 22,600. That's 22,600. I don't know why they say it backwards, but apparently it's more dramatic that way. And the sons of Uzi, Azariah, the sons of Azariah, Michael, and Obadiah, and Joel, and Ishiah, 5. All of them chief men. That means that they were men of some authority. They were the heads of the household, or they were assistants to the heads of the household. They were somebody in relative authority figures of the different families. And with them by their generation, after the house of their fathers, were bands of soldiers for war, 36,000 men, for they had many wives and sons, and please God, don't name them all. And their brethren among all the families of Issachar were valiant men of might, reckoned in all by their genealogies, 7,000. The sons of Benjamin, Bela, and Becher, and Jediel were 3. And the sons of Bela, Esbon, and Uzi, and Uziel. Uzi and Uziel seem to be very popular names in this period in time. And Jeremoth, and Eri, 5. Heads of the house of their fathers, mighty men of valor. These men were famous. They were known among the land, and were reckoned by their genealogies 22,034. It's a lot of boys. Believe that. And the sons of Becher, Zemirah, and Joash, and Eleazar, and Elioni, and Omri, and Jeremoth, and Abiah. Remember Abiah? And Anathoth, and Alameth. All these are the sons of Becher. And the number of them after their genealogies by their generations, heads of the house of their fathers, mighty men of valor, famous, were 20,200. And the sons of Jediel, Bilhan. And the sons of Bilhan, Jeush, and Benjamin, and Ehud, remember him, and Chenana, and Zathan, and Tharshish, and Ahishahar. Sounds like he's trying to crank up a car. Ahishahar. All these, the sons of Jediel, by the heads of their fathers, mighty men of valor, were 17,200 soldiers, fit to go to war and battle. And they were the Irish. No, I'm just kidding. and Shuppim also, and Huppim, the children of Ir, and Hushim, the sons of Aher, the sons of Naphtali, Jaziel, and Guni, and Jezer, and Shallum, another popular name, the sons of Bilhah, the sons of Manasseh, Ashriel, whom she bare, but his concubine, the Aramites, bare Machir, the father of Gilead. And Machir took to wife the sister of Huppim and Shuppim, whose sister's name was Makach. She was Klingon. And the name of the second was Zelophehad. And Zelophehad had daughters, no sons. And Makach, the Klingon, the wife of Machir, bare a son, and she called his name Perish. And the name of his brother was Sherish. So Perish and Sherish, they rhyme. And his son was Ulam and Rakem. Now the sons of Ulam, Bedan, these were the sons of Gilead, the son of Machir, the son of Manasseh, or half the tribe of Manasseh. And his sister, Hamoleketh, bare Ishad, and Abizar, and Mahala. Mahala, that's a Hawaiian for hello, or goodbye. Mahala. These are jokes, people. Is this thing on? And the sons of Shemida were Ahain and Shechem and Lehi and Anaim. And the sons of Ephraim, Shuthelah, and Bered his son, and Tahath his son, and Eladah his son, and Tahath his son, and Zabad his son. He's a bad boy. He's Italian. He's a bad boy. And Shuthelah his son, and Ezer, and Eliad, whom the men of Gath that were born in the land slew, because they came down to take away their cattle. They were thieves. They were cowboys and Indians. And Ephraim, their father, mourned many days as his brethren came to comfort him. And when he went in to his wife, she conceived and bare a son, and he called his name Beriah, because it went evil with his house. Beriah. It's kind of like our word for pariah. It's evil in the land. His name is Beriah. Blue. And his daughter was Sherah, who built Beth-horon, the nether, that's the lower part, and the upper, Uzan-Sherah, which is the upper part. And Raphah was his son, also Resheph, and Tela his son, and Tahan his son, and Ladan his son, and Ammihud his son, and Elishama his son. Remember that name. Non his son, and Jehoshua his son. And their possessions and habitations were Bethel, and the towns thereof, and eastward Naran, and westward Gezer, with the towns thereof, Shechem also and the towns thereof, unto Gaza, not Giza, Gaza, the Gaza Strip, or Plateau, Giza Strip, Gaza Plateau, whatever. And the towns thereof, and by the borders of the children of Manasseh, Bethshean, and her towns, Tanakh, and her towns. That's where Indiana Jones found the lost city. In the first, Morgan. Hey, there's Diego. Lots and lots of them. Megiddo and her towns, Dor and her towns. In these dwelt the children of Joseph and the sons of Israel. Joseph. Joseph is a name you should remember. The sons of Asher, Imnah and Ishua, and Ishui, and Beriah, and Sarah, their sister. A lot of women being mentioned here in these genealogies, by the way, all you people who think the Bible is sexist. And the sons of Beriah, Heber, and Malchiel, who is the father of Beerzavith. And Heber begat Japhet, and Shomer, and Hotham, and Shua, their sister. Another one. And the sons of Japhet, Pasash, and Bimhal, and Ashvath, and their children. These are the children of Japhet, and the sons of Shamer, Ahai, and Rohga, and Jehuba the Hutt. He's a big fat guy that likes to do crime and never mind. And Aram. And the sons of his brother Helam, and Zophah, and Imnah, and Shelish, and Amal. And the sons of Zophah, Shua, and Harniper, and Shul, and Beri, and Imrah, Bezer, and Hod, and Shammah, and Shilsha, and Ithran, and Bera. Bera. And the sons of Jether, Junive, and Pishpa, and Ara, and the sons of Ulah, Ara, and Hanil, and Reziah. All these were the children of Asher, heads of their father's house, choice and mighty men of valor. They were famous in the land, chief of the princes. They were the best princes, the firstborns. And the number throughout the genealogy of them that were apt to the war and to the battle was 26,000 men. Now, Benjamin begat Bela, his firstborn, and Ashbel the second, and Ahara the third, and Noah the fourth, and Rapha the fifth. And the sons of Bela were Adar, and Gera, and Abihud, and Abishua, and Naaman, and Ahoah, and Gera, and Shephufan, and Huram. All these are the sons of Ehud. These are the heads of the fathers of the inhabitants of Geba, and they removed them to Manahath. And Naaman, and Ahiah, and Gera, he removed them, and begat Uzzah, and Ahihud. And Shaharaim begat children in the country of Moab, after he had sent them away. Hushim and Bara were his wives. And he begat Hodish, his wife. And he begat of Hodish, his wife, Jobab, and Zebiah, and Misha, and Malcolm, and Juz, and Shekiah, and Mirmah. These were his sons, heads of the fathers. And Hushim he begat Abitub, and Elpal. The sons of Elpal, Eber, remember that name, and Misham, and Shamed, who built Ono, and Lod, with the towns thereof. Beriah also, and Shema, who were heads of the fathers of the inhabitants of Ajalon, who drove away the inhabitants of Gath, and Ahio, and Shashak, and Jeremoth, and Zebediah, and Arad, and Adar, and Michael, and Ispa, and Joha, the sons of Beriah, and Zebediah, and Meshullam, and Hezekiah, and Heber, and Ishmerai also, and Jezleah, and Jobab, the sons of Ilpal, and Jachim, and Zikri, and Zabdi, and Elioni, and Zethiah, and Eliel, and Adiah, and Beriah, and Shimrath, the sons of Shimhi, and Ishpan, and Heber, and Eliel, and Abdon, and Zikri, and Hanan, and Hananiah, and Elam, and Antothijah, and Antothijah, and Ephadiah, and Peniel, the sons of Sheshach, and Shamshiri, and Shamshariah, and Athaliah, and Jereshiah, and Eliah, and Zikri, the sons of Jeroham. These were the heads of the fathers by their generations, chief men. These dwelt in Jerusalem. And at Gibeon dwelt the father of Gibeon, whose wife's name was Machach. She was Klingon. And his firstborn son, Abdon, and Zur, and Kish, and Baal. Baal means Lord, lowercase l, just so you know. And Nadab, and Gedor, and Ahio, and Zakir. And Mikloth begat Shemiah. And these also dwelt with their brethren in Jerusalem, over against them, on the other side of the city. And Ner begat Kish, and Kish begat Saul, and Saul begat Jonathan, and Malchishua, and Abinadab, and Eshbal. And the son of Jonathan was Meribal, and Meribal begat Micah. Now remember, Jonathan had a son, but he was crippled in his feet. He hobbled. Maybe he had pigeon toe. I don't know. There's something wrong with his feet. So they sent him off to kind of like a boarding school to be taken care of, because Jonathan was a man of war. Jonathan and David were best friends. So this where this is coming in at. Saul was his father, who became the first king of Israel. And Micah has a role to play later on, who is Jonathan's son's son, his grandson. And the sons of Micah were Pithon, and Melech, and Teriah, and Ahaz. And Ahaz begat Jehoiada, and Jehoiada begat Elameth, and he begat Elameth, and Asmaveth, and Zimri, and Zimri begat Moza, and Moza begat Beniah. Rapha was his son, and Elisha his son, and Aziel his son. And Aziel had 6 sons, whose names are these: Azrikam, Bokeru, Ishmael, Shariah, Obadiah, and Hanan. All these were the sons of Aziel. And the sons of Issachar, his brother, were Ulam, his firstborn, and Jehush the second, and Eliphalet the third. Eliphalet has a role to play also. And the sons of Ulam were mighty men of valor. They were famous archers. They were famous archers, and had many sons and sons and sons. 150 sons. We're not going to name all of those. Let's say a little prayer for Cheese Bear. How about that, April? Father, please watch over Cheese Bear and bring her to bear. Keep your hands on her and keep her safe. Your will be done. In your son Jesus Christ's precious name, amen. Does that help? I think it does. All these are the sons of Benjamin. So all Israel were reckoned by genealogies, and behold, they were written in the book of the kings of Israel and Judah, who were carried away to Babylon for their transgressions. Now, the first inhabitants that dwelt in their possessions and in their cities, the Israelites, the priests, Levites, and the Nethinims, and the Nethinims? Must be Nathaniel's kids. And in Jerusalem dwelt of the children of Judah, and of the children of Benjamin, and of the children of Ephraim and Manasseh, and Uthiah, the sons of Ammihud, the son of Omri, the son of Imri, the son of Bani, of the children of Pharez, the son of Judah, and of the Shilonites, Asaiah, the firstborn, and his sons, and the sons of Zerah, Juel, and their brethren, 690 brothers. Could you imagine growing up in that household? Wow. And of the sons of Benjamin, Salu, and the sons of Meshullam, and the sons of Hodaviah, the son of Hasenua, and Ibneiah, the sons of Jeroham, and Elah, the son of Uzi, the son of Machiri, and Meshullam, the son of Shephatiah, the son of Ruel, the son of Ibnijah, and their brethren, according to their generations, 956. All these men were chief of their fathers in the house of their fathers. And of the priests, Jedediah, and Jehoiarib, and Jachin. Jachin is an interesting name there. Ding, 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 Jachin. Boaz, Jachin, Boaz, Jachin, Boaz. Do you know what that is? Da-da-da-da-da. Zadok. And Azariah, the sons of Hilkiah, the son of Meshullam, the son of Zadok, which means peace, by the way, just so you know. The son of Marioth, the son of Ahitub, the ruler of the house of God. And Adiah, the son of Jeroham, the son of Pashur, the son of Malchiah, and Masai, the son of Adiel, the son of Jazerah, the son of Meshullam, the son of Meshilemeth. That must be like Smith in those days. Meshilemeth, the sons of Immer, and their brethren, heads of the house of their fathers, 1,760, very able men for the work of the service of the house of God. These are all the priest line here. And of the Levites, Shemaiah, the son of Hashib, the son of Azrikam, the son of Hashabiah, the son of Merari, and Bakbakar, Harish, and Galal, and Mattaniah, the son of Micah, the son of Zikri, the son of Asaph, the son of Obadiah, and Obadiah, the son of Shemaiah, the son of Galal, the son of Jeduthun, and Berechiah, the son of Asa, the son of Elkanah, that dwelt in the villages of the Netophathites. Netophathites? I don't know who they are. And the porters were Shallum, and Akub, and Talman, and Ahiman, and their brethren. And Shallum was the chief. What a porter is is kind of like a butler. He brings your bags in, he takes care of you, makes sure that you get seated, and, porters, like a train porter. Who hitherto waited in the king's gate eastward. They were porters in the companies of the children of Levi, and Shallum the son of Kor, who is also Klingon, by the way, the son of Ebisaph, the son of Korah, and his brethren, and of the house of his father, the Korahites, were over the work of the service, keepers of the gates of the tabernacle, and their fathers, being over the host of the Lord, all capital letters, were keepers of the entry. So these were all people who kind of watched the gates and made sure everybody came in through the right place and went to the right place and that sort of thing. And Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, was the ruler over them in time past, and the Lord was with him, because he was a good man. Phinehas was a good man. And Zechariah, the son of Meshilemiah, was porter of the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. You didn't go in without passing by Zechariah. All these which were chosen to be porters in the gates were 212. These were reckoned by their genealogies and their villages, whom David and Samuel the seer did ordain in their set office. Samuel the prophet, he wasn't really a seer, he was a prophet of God. He was on a mission from God. So they and their children had the oversight of the gates of the house of the Lord, namely the house of the tabernacle, by wards. In 4 quarters were the porters towards the east, west, north, and south. So in every corner of the tabernacle, there were places for the porters to sleep. Remember, the tabernacle is shaped like a big cross when it's all laid out. All the camps would go in each corner, and then in the middle of each corner. And right in the dead center is where the holiest of holies is. And their brethren, which were in their villages, were to come after 7 days from time to time with them. For these Levites, the 4 chief porters were in their set office, and were over the chambers and treasuries of the house of God. And they lodged round about the house of God, because the charge was upon them, and the opening thereof every morning pertained to them. So it was their job. So they just slept in the tabernacle, because they were there to make sure that everything opened up in the morning and everybody could come in and do their daily worship. And certain of them had the charge of the ministering vessels, that they should bring them in and out by tale. Some of them also were appointed to oversee the vessels, and all the instruments of the sanctuary, and the fine flour, and the wine, and the oil, and the frankincense, and the spices. And some of the sons of the priests made the ointment of the spices. And Mattaniah, one of the Levites, who was the firstborn of Shallum the Korahite, had the set office over the things that were made in pans, like biscuits. That was his job. He's a cook, man. He's a short order cook. He made French fries and patty melts and pressed a little fat steak with some smothered, covered, and chunked hash browns. That's his job. It was the International House of God pancakes. And other of their brethren, of the sons of the Kohathites. I'm not having a stroke. I can read. Over the showbread to prepare it every Sabbath. There was always showbread. That means best loaf of bread you could imagine. Always. You could go in anytime, day or night, and there'd be some showbread sitting there on that table to eat didn't matter. They made sure it always stayed full. You want to talk about all-you-can-eat buffet? That showbread never went empty, not once. And these are the singers, people I'm related to, chief of the fathers of the Levites, who remaining in the chambers were free, for they were employed in that work day and night. They were singing day and night. Real gator meat, huh? These chief fathers of the Levites were chief throughout their generations. These dwelt at Jerusalem, and in Gibeon dwelt the father of Gibeon, Jehiel, whose wife's name was Machach. She was Klingon. Machach, sorry. And his firstborn, Abdon, then Zur, and Kish, and Baal, which means Lord, lowercase l, and Ner, and Nadab, sorry, read that backwards. And Gedor, and Ahio, and Zechariah, and Mikloth. And Mikloth begat Shemim. And they also dwelt with their brethren at Jerusalem over against their brethren on the other side of the city. And Ner begat Kish, and Kish begat Saul. Kish was Saul's father. And Saul begat Jonathan, and Malchishua, and Abinadab, and Eshbal. And the sons of Jonathan were Meribal, and Meribal begat Micah. And the sons of Micah were Python, and Melech, and Tariah, and Ahaz. Did I read this already? I feel like I have. And Ahaz begat Jerah, and Jerah begat Elameth, and Asmaveth, and Zimri, and Zimri begat Moza, and Moza begat Beniah, and Raphiah, his son, and Elisha, his son, Azil, his son. And Azil had 6 sons, whose names are these: Azrikam, Bocheru, Ishmael, Sharai, Obadiah, and Hanan. These were the sons of Azil. Now, the Philistines fought against Israel, and the men of Israel fled from before the Philistines and fell down slain in Mount Gilboa. And the Philistines followed hard after Saul and after his sons. And the Philistines slew Jonathan and Abinadab and Malchishua, the sons of Saul. They all fell to battle. And the battle went sore against Saul, and the archers hit him, and he was wounded of the archers. He didn't die from them, but he was wounded. Then said Saul to his armor-bearer, Draw thy sword and thrust me through therewith, lest these uncircumcised come and abuse me. And his armor-bearer would not, for he was sore afraid. So Saul took a sword and fell upon it himself, committing suicide, or Saulicide. And when his armor-bearer saw that Saul was dead, he fell likewise on the sword and died also. Now that is a loyal armor-bearer. I'd have been like, well, it was nice knowing you. I'm out. But he died right there with him. So Saul died, and his 3 sons, and all his house died together that day. And when all the men of Israel that were in the valley saw that they fled, and that Saul and his sons were dead, then they forsook their cities and ran like chickens, and the Philistines came and dwelt in them. And it came to pass on the morrow, when the Philistines came to strip the slain, they found Saul and his sons fallen in Mount Gilboa. And when they had stripped him, they took his head and his armor, and sent into the land of the Philistines round about, to carry tidings unto their idols, their false idols, and to the people. And they put his armor in the house of their lowercase gods, and fastened his head in the temple of Dagon. That's not very nice. Dagon is a fish god, by the way. And God, the real God, is going to have something to say about that a little bit later on. You're going to laugh when you see what he does. If you ever doubt God has a sense of humor, watch and see what he does in the house of Dagon in just a little while. And when all Jabesh Gilead heard all the Philistines had done to Saul, they arose, all the valiant men, and took away the body of Saul and the bodies of his sons, and brought them to Jabesh, and buried their bones under the oak in Jabesh, and fasted for 7 days. So Saul died for his transgression, which he committed against the Lord, even against the word of the Lord. That's Jesus, by the way. Metaphorically speaking. Which he kept not. He didn't keep God's word. And also for asking counsel of one that had a familiar spirit to inquire of it, and inquired not of the Lord. Therefore he slew him, and turned the kingdom unto David the son of Jesse. Now, what does that mean? Well, remember, he went and sought a witch, or a soothsayer, or whatever you want to call them, and had that witch bring up the spirit of Samuel the prophet, who was dead, by the way. Well, see, here's the thing. When you die, the spirit goes instantly back to the Father who gave it. It's not in the ground. It's not lurking around for you. It's gone. It's not here anymore. So the thing that spoke to Saul was not Samuel the prophet, although it claimed to be. So what was it? It was a familiar spirit. What does that mean? Well, they invented a word to describe this, and that word is demon. The word demon means knowledge or familiarity. But there's no such thing as a demon in real life. That doesn't exist. However, there are fallen angels, and those fallen angels have spirits, and those spirits need to inhabit bodies. That is what is meant by a familiar spirit. It is a fallen angel. Now, it was a bad fallen angel that spoke to Saul and told Saul what was going to happen the next day. Probably because he knows God doesn't like it when you talk to familiar spirits. You're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to have foreknowledge of what's coming in the future. It's not your business. You're to tarry and live here and do the best you can with what you got, and the outcome will prove itself. You don't need to know that. Knowing it will only complicate things, as you see it did, because once he realized that he was going to die the next day and lose the battle and his throne, what could he do then? What's he going to do with that knowledge? He thought Samuel was going to tell him he was going to win. But you see, he didn't ask God. He could have. He asked a familiar spirit because he was scared of God, because he knew he was sinning. He was doing bad stuff. He had turned against God. That's the problem. And Saul paid with his life because of it, and his kingdom, and all 3 of his sons. Even his whole house fell that day because of that transgression. Now, later on, if in fact you ever see the word demon, you know that they invented that word to describe something that we don't have a word for, which is a familiar spirit. That's what a demon is. It's not like The Exorcist. It's not like Hollywood movies. That's not what evil looks like. As a matter of fact, if you saw evil, you probably would not recognize it. Let me ask you a question. What do you think Satan looks like? When I say the word Satan, what pops into your mind? Red long handles on a pitchfork? Tail? Dragon? Would it surprise you to know that when God made Lucifer, he made him the most beautiful of all the angels and gave him all of the gifts? Means he was the smartest, he was the quickest, the strongest, the fastest, the brightest, the funniest. He could do the most armpit farts. He could do everything, the best. He was the most beautiful thing God had created, and he still is. So if Satan were standing before you, you would probably be in awe of him rather than scared of him because he's beautiful. And yes, I picture Al Pacino also. I'm a fan of man. No, that was a great movie, by the way. That's a guilty pleasure of mine. I like those kind of movies. Anyway, don't be deceived by the beauty of evil, because evil doesn't look like they teach you it looks like in Hollywood. It isn't green and grotesque and mean and nasty and gnarly. It's probably right in front of you most days, and you don't even see it because it looks like everyday life. What is evil? Evil is anything that goes against God. Anything. So if it don't follow the 10 commandments and it don't love Jesus Christ, it's evil. Period. End of discussion. So remember that, kids. And look what it did to Saul for consulting evil just by having a conversation with it. Cost him his whole house and his kingdom. And worse than that, God had blessed Saul. He anointed him. God had to take that back. So he lost his blessing too. I don't know what became of his soul. It's not my job to judge him, but I can bet you he's not happy about it. Say hello to my little friend. Then all Israel gathered themselves to David unto Hebron, saying, Behold, we are thy bone and thy flesh. We're your family, David. We're with you. And moreover, in time past, even when Saul was king, thou wast he that leddest out and broughtest in Israel. You were the man. Even when Saul was the king, you were the man. And now you're the king. And the Lord thy God said unto thee, Thou shalt feed my people Israel, and thou shalt be ruler over my people Israel. That's Miami, Loami. Your people, my people, in the Greek. Therefore came all the elders of Israel to the king to Hebron. And David made a covenant with them in Hebron before the Lord. And they anointed David king over Israel according to the word of the Lord by Samuel the prophet. And David and all Israel went to Jerusalem, which is Jebus, where the Jebusites were. That's where they came from. I told you. The inhabitants of the land, Jebus, which is Jerusalem now. Jerusalem, the place of peace. Ironically, there's never been peace there, but that's what it's called. Shalom means peace. That's what the word Salem is, peace. You ever heard somebody say, Assalamu alaikum? That's peace be with you in Arabic or whatever language that is. You say shalom, and he says, Assalamu alaikum. And the inhabitants of Jebus said to David, Thou shalt not come hither. Nevertheless, David took the castle of Zion, which is the city of David. Where is Zion? In the city of David. Where is the city of David? In Jebus. Where is Jebus? Jerusalem. You get it? You see? Where did the house of God get built? In Zion. Where is Zion? In the city of David. Where is the city of David? In Jebus. Where is Jebus? Jerusalem. Is it the Dome of the Rock? No, it's Jerusalem, 400 yards away from the Dome of the Rock. They already have it. They already own it. It's theirs. All they got to do is start building. You see what I'm saying? All right. And David said, whosoever smiteth the Jebusites first shall be chief and captain. So Joab, the son of Zeruiah, went up first and was chief. So he beat up the Jebusites. Where to come from? And David dwelt in the castle. Therefore they called it the city of David. And he built the city round about, even from Millo, is that little house that the original, you understand? That's that little house. He called it Millo. It's a house made of cedar for his wife to live in, round about. And Joab repaired the rest of the city. Apparently the city had fallen into disrepair because of wars. And it's quite devastating to a city made of stone when you have a war in it. And lots of things get burned and lots of things get broken. So it takes a while to rebuild a city. And in those days, they just built right on top of the rubble. They left the rubble there and they built on top of it. I mean, it's stone. It's not like it's going to be unstable, you know. So they just built a city. So if you go to Jerusalem now, you can go down like 15 layers of different cities that were built right on top of the other city that was there before. I mean, they got catacombs because there's a city beneath your feet that was destroyed, and they built the new city right on top of the rubble. That's quite fascinating, if you ask me. These also are the chief of the mighty men whom David had, who strengthened themselves with his kingdom, within his kingdom, and with all Israel, to make him king, according to the word of the Lord concerning Israel. Many, many wars and death. Yes, ma'am. So David waxed greater and greater, for the Lord of hosts was with him. David was quite the king. It's about 100 yards from the Dome of the Rock. I think it's 400, but you might be right. No capitals on purpose. As Christians, we cannot support the Muslims, correct? That's Ishmael's job, not Isaac's. So, I think it's 400 yards, but you may be correct. I've never been there. This is just stuff I'm remembering, you know, from things I've read years and years ago. So I may have a number mixed up or whatever. Nonetheless, the point remains the same. They own the property, not the property they think it goes to. You understand what I mean? A miracle. My bourbon was empty, but now it is full. Yeah. And this is the number of the mighty men whom David had: Jeshoabim and Machmanite. My chest hurts from saying all these big words, man. Whew. Machmanite, the chief of the captains, he lifted up his spear against 300 slain by him at one time. This man, Machmanite, killed 300 people by himself with a spear. That's a bad dude. I don't care who you are. We're both right. Hey, I'm not trying to be right. I'm trying to be correct. There's no ego involved. I'm just trying to teach, man. The point remains correct, that they own the property where they could build the new temple today if they wanted to. They just don't know it. And I don't understand why they don't know it. I know it, and I'm just a redneck. Why don't they? They know it. They're there. They live there. Because they trust a rabbi from 700 years ago that said, I think we'll build it over there. Okay. And after him, Eleazar, the son of Dodo, the Hoahite, who was one of the 3 Magites, one of the 3 mightiest Magites. Wow, I'm tired. Thank you, and a shout out to Sharon the bartender. You go, Sharon. Give me your phone number. I'll call you one of these days. if you can handle a man of the Lord. He was with David at Pashdamim. And there the Philistines were gathered together to battle, where was a parcel of ground full of barley, and the people fled from before the Philistines. And they set themselves in the midst of the parcel, and delivered it, and slew the Philistines, and the Lord saved them by a great deliverance. Now 3 of the 30 captains went down to the rock of David, to David. What rock? That'd be interesting to know. That might be the Dome of the Rock. Into the cave Adullam, and the host of the Philistines encamped in the valley of Rephaim. Rephaim is the dead ones. They're bad dudes. There's mounds built there by the Rephaim. Look into that word. They're bad people. They're like the Walking Dead kind of. They're not good. And David was then in the hold, and the Philistines' garrison was then at Bethlehem. And David longed and said, "Oh, that the one would give me drink of water from the well of Bethlehem that is at the gate." And the 3 brake through the host of the Philistines, and drew water out of the well of Bethlehem that was by the gate, and took it and brought it to David. But David would not drink of it. He poured it out to the Lord. Now, this story is interesting. They were in a battle against Saul, I believe. Might have been the Philistines. Either way, they were in a deadlock. They were held up in one place, and the bad guys were in another place, and neither one could gain any ground. They were fighting for days and days and days. And David mentioned in passing to one of his guys, "Man, I would give anything to have a drink from the well in Bethlehem, because that's my water, that's my home water." Well, these guys loved David so much that they broke through the ranks like football players, went right through the Philistines into Jerusalem where they were, round about, had the place surrounded, and drew water out of the well and brought it back and managed to survive while they did it. And David wouldn't drink it. Why? Because all of his men couldn't have any. It was a matter of loyalty. He said, "I'll drink when everybody can drink." So he poured it out to the Lord. That was David being one of the guys, saying, "I don't need any special treatment just because I'm king. I'm down here in the trenches with you. I'm one of you. I'm not just above you. I'm one of you." That is the kind of loyalty that breeds meritocracy, which is what we need severely in this country right now. We need a leader that is one of us, Trump. We need somebody to stand up and say, "Hey, I'm not going to take any more special treatment until everybody can have some special treatment. I'm not going to get one up until everybody gets one up. I'm not going to rest until everybody can rest." That's a leader. That's a guy that actually cares for his countrymen. And said, "My God, forbid it me that I shouldn't do this thing, drink the water. Shall I drink the blood of these men that have put their lives in jeopardy? For with the jeopardy of their lives they brought it. They risk everything to bring me this water. You want me to drink it?" Therefore he would not drink it. These things did these 3 mightiest. Those are the 3 men that we're just talking about. True men. Strong, scared of nothing, risk everything for their king. And Abishai, the brother of Joab, he was chief of those 3 men. For lifting up his spear against 300, he slew them, and had a name among the 3. Abishai, that was the bad dude there. He was the strongest out of all of them. Of the three, he was more honorable than the other two, for he was their captain. Howbeit, he attained not to the first three. And that is where we're going to stop. Benaiah, the son of Jehoiada. That's where we're going to stop for today, ladies and gentlemen. I can't take any more. It's too exciting. It's too crazy. It's too sassy. We got to wait. We got to back up. We'll do this Sunday, 11:22. I hope you guys enjoyed this read tonight. I hope it was fun. I hope I made light of the miserable trenching through of the words. And I hope that you got something out of it. I hope you see what's happening here in this world and that world and how they compare betwixt the two. And I hope most of all that you would take a moment and hit that subscribe button and press the bell icon so you get notifications of when I'm going to be here. Smash that like button. Smash it true. Smash it hard, but only smash it once. We need the numbers. Share this video with somebody you love. Better yet, share with somebody you don't love. Bring them into our family. Make them part of the fold. Be part of their solutions, not part of their problems. Leave a comment down below and let me know what you're thinking about. Question me, curse me, bless me, challenge me, confront me, conform with me, drink my Kool-Aid, drink your own Kool-Aid. As long as you're thinking, that's what I want. Critical thought coming from that brain of yours. And hey, if you love the Word of God and you love what I'm trying to do here and you see the importance of what I'm trying to accomplish and you'd like to help out, you'd like to be part of this thing, be something special, won't you please take a moment and go to paypal.me/JakeJohnsonBand. Every little bit helps. It's a blessing for me. It's a blessing for you too, because God notices these things. We do live in a reciprocal universe. You give, He gives more. That's the way it works. Bless you. I love you. And thank you for your support. I will now take your questions and comments. Hey. Jake, what a read today, says Diego. Thank you, sir. I love the read tonight. It was great, and thank you. Bless you. Thank you, and bless you, my dear. With your pretty smile. I saw those teeth. Are they real? Mine aren't. I did enjoy it, even though it gets a little boggy there. Man, there's some weird names in the Bible. It's hard to pronounce. Try it sometime. Just break your Bible open to First Chronicles and just start reading out loud, and then you'll appreciate what I'm going through for your salvation. I'm trying to get it in your head so I don't have to think about it and you don't have to think about it. We've all been there. That's what we're trying to do at the moment. Been there, done that, bought the t-shirts. That's what my mama used to say. You would have loved my mom, and if she was alive, she'd be on this podcast with me. You can believe that. Yep, a lot of genealogies, Diego. Diego Sasquatch. Oh, Jake, always appreciate. I love you all. Lots of hearts and smiley faces and... Oh, man. Well, you know what? And I'm pretty sure this won't shock you, but I love you too. I should respond to a video called Why Atheism Makes More Sense with William Oppie, an atheist philosopher who looks like a crocodile. Well, I'll look into it. I can't promise you that I'll respond to it. It might be just too silly. And I don't have a lot of patience for silliness, because anybody that has an atheistic worldview lives in a dank, dark, bleak place with no light in its future. And also, they're not thinking very far ahead of themselves. You see, anybody with a modicum of common sense Back me up on this, Sasquatch. The person who refuses to get involved. Just tell me I'm wrong. Anybody that's thought about life for more than a second beyond their own ego realizes that there must be something greater than themselves. Now, you can call that God. You can call that omnipotence. You can call that the greater ego. But there's something bigger than you. You are not the be-all, end-all. You are just part of all of this. Which is more logical? Your capacity for knowledge or knowledge? Which do you think is greater? And if you answer that correctly, your capacity for knowledge versus knowledge itself, then you realize that there's a whole lot of this that you don't know. Yet there it is, and you don't know it. What's around the corner? I don't know, nor do you. What does that mean? That means that something does know because knowledge exists. And that means there is something greater than oneself. And anybody that can get out of their own ass for just a minute would not be an atheist, because atheism is dumb. And that's how I feel about it. Caucasian? Anybody? Good evening, Untethered, a.k.a. Jake. Good evening, Cheese Bear. We said a prayer for you tonight. It only lasts 13 minutes. I'll look into it. If it's not too silly, I might bring it up. I know you like that kind of thing. I'm with you. Well, I just told you what my opinion of it was, and now you know. And no, they're not really happy. They're just really full of themselves. Sorry that I'm late. Very busy day. Well, you're not late. We're early. You're right on time. Caucasian, am I wrong? Did you hear what I said? I ask you for counsel because you're the guy that doesn't get involved with the religiosity of everything. Did you hear what I said? First. And second, do you agree? Thank you. I am home. Good news tonight. Please do share. We love good news. April says, good to see you. I'm so happy you're here. Love. You just missed it. Hello, April Rain. Great to see you. Just so happy to be home. We're happy you're home too. I guess Caucasian is going to opt to not answer. That's okay. Think about it for a while. Diego, hoping you and your family are well, says Cheese Bear. That's sweet. Thank you, Cheese Bear. And if you were with us last night, I apologize for the short podcast. I was having an allergy attack from hell. It was not good. I had to call it quits. We're okay, Cheese Bear. My Aunt Veronica has left us behind, but trust in God Almighty. We will see her in heaven. Amen to that. What's the news? I'm excited and waiting, says April. Hello, if you are here, says Kevin. Or says Cheese Bear to Kevin. He's here. I'm fine, Cheese. Hunky-dory. Hunky-dory. That's Mifaso's daughter. Dory. Mifaso's daughter. So Lati-do. That's a music joke. You got to be inclined to get that one. The news is I'm home. I guess that is good news. You made it sound like you had more news prescient than that. Caucasian, are you ignoring me or you just not hear me? It's too late now. The moment's passed. I needed your help a minute ago. Where were we at? I'm a bit foggy about last night. Was under the weather. I'm sorry to hear that, Cheese. So was I. But not in the way you were. I think I understand. Chemoically. I know that, but when I ask you a question, why be rude and not answer me? I would answer you if you asked me a question. Thank you, Cheese Bear. They can be a bear, and they were last night. First of all, I rode all day in the cold and in the rain on my motorcycle. Then I sat in McDonald's for an hour, and then I went over to my sister's house, and she has cats and dogs, little dogs, and I'm allergic to dander. And by the time I got home last night at like 8:30, which I was already late, because yesterday was my son's birthday. So I was late, and I was rushing, and everything just compounded, and I had an allergy attack on air. It was sitting here gagging and coughing and sneezing and snotting all over the place, and I just couldn't continue because I didn't think y'all wanted to listen to all that, so I called it quits early. I think we went about 30 minutes as opposed to my usual hour and a half. You remember my son's birthday? Thank you. He's 16 now. Unbelievable. These 10, 11 chapters of Chronicles have a lot of content from Samuel and other places, not just Samuel. It's a recap of all the books we've previously read in the Old Testament. Not the first 5 books, but everything after that. It's a recap of all of that. And it's kind of like going back and analyzing down on the details that were given to start with. The genealogies were read to start with, and now we're going back and analyzing down onto each one, kind of like expanding upon the information we already have. 16, God help you, tough age. Yeah, telling me. I mean, we have the episode of the Philistine captivity of the ark in the temple of Dagon. Well, that was a moment. Yep. God's going to fix that. You want to see an updated picture of him? Picture that with a little bit more hair. That's my boy. Do you remember what my hair looked like when I was 16? That's what his hair looks like. A second account of the Battle of Mount Gilboa, yep, where King Saul and his sons died, except this is a little more theological narrative than the one we have in 1 Samuel, yep, because it's pertaining to a different directive. It's the same story, but it's about a different thing surrounding that event. If you want to read about the death of King Saul, read 1 Samuel 31 and 1 Chronicles 10. Yep. He looks adorable like you when you were younger. Spitting image. I'm telling you, we look like the same person. I've got pictures of me when I was that age. Looks just like him. And it was a bloody battle, Diego. Yes, it was. Only thing is, I was built more than he is because I was working at that time. He wasn't. He's not. That's the only difference. But he's still got physique. It's just not like mine was. His arms are kind of thickening out, though, a little bit. But you remember what I look like. I look like I lifted weights. He just looks like a teenager. Yes, he is, Jake. Spitting image. Sure is. Just don't tell him April and I described him as sweet and adorable. He'll never speak to you again. He's a pretty good kid. He's very obedient and he's very smart. Smart as a whip. He keeps me on my toes. He taught himself how to read, if that'll tell you anything. And I'm not joking. When he was 4 or 5 years old, he was reading Harry Potter novels. Does that tell you anything? Very smart boy. Scares me a little bit. And with all those brains, you'd think he'd be good at school. He's just like me. He hates it. But I'm proud of him, though. He's getting by. Making good grades. Growing like a ragweed. He's tall as I am now. Which is weird because I'm used to him being tiny. Hey, I want to see Clifford the big red dog. Okay. You go, girl. I can't help you with that. Oh, it's a movie coming out, right? I got you. Maybe I can help you with that. I can tell you where to get it. Go to Zoogle, ZOOGLE.com. When it comes out, it'll be there. Sorry, Hebron. Yeah, Blacklist is back, but it's not the same. They lost a pretty important part. I like Blacklist, but I hadn't caught up on the new season yet. But I think that the girl's gone. I don't think she's coming back. Can't remember her name. Elizabeth. Yep, that part about David was pretty fascinating, especially the battle where they slayed the men, where the one guy slayed 300 men with a spear by himself because he wanted to. The Bible is a great military handbook. Sun Tzu is a great military handbook, The Art of War. The Bible just talks about battles. I don't think it's a handbook for military action. I don't think you can learn a lot about military. You might could if you read about Joshua. He was pretty smart. But I don't know if those tactics would work in modern warfare. If you want to know how to get under an enemy's skin, read The Art of War. That'll teach you some things. It's still good. You've started on the 3rd episode? Jason Bourne of the Bible. Yes, he was. Joshua, he was pretty bad. Lots of battles, wars through. Yep. Though. Yeah, it's a good referendum on war. I mean, you can read about war, but I don't know if you could learn how to war from the Bible. That's what I'm saying. When you said handbook, I was thinking teaching you how to do battle. I don't think you can do that from the Bible because it's more about why the battle was being fought rather than how. I don't think they go into all the details. But if you want to learn how to work an enemy, get under his skin, fake him out, and, that's the art of war. Sun Tzu knew what he was doing. You read it annually? Wow. I only read it once. That's enough. Good evening, Kevin, says Cheese Bear. You keep a copy on your phone. Never interrupt when your enemy makes mistakes. Also, you can read Confucius, but Confucius says some things that may not be politically correct. He says things like rape is impossible because a woman can run faster with her skirt up than a man can with his pants down. I'm not sure that tracks, but he said it, not me. Excellent book for negotiating, yes. The Art of War was written by Sun Tzu around 300 BC. Yep. You could also read The Art of the Deal, baby. It's literally the best book ever written. There's no other book like it in the world. Oh my God, you went there, Jake? I was just teasing, honey. I was just teasing. I often go there. Both feet. Insert vigorously chew. Sometimes I'd be talking and my audience is like, I know you're hungry, Jake, but both feet, damn. Yes, Diego, he did not only write it, he fought in it, won against the odds. Yeah, he was one heck of a military strategist. The story goes that there was a great king of China, or wherever. Might have been Japan. I'm not politically correct. I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway, he had enemies. And he said to all of his people, find me somebody that can win this battle. And this little dude come up and said, I'll not only win the battle, but I'll make them bring it to you. He says, well, you got a shot. If you can do it, I'll make you the general over my army. If you fail, I'll skin your hide and hang you out to dry. So he had motivation to be skillful and learn how to work the enemy. That's the story I heard anyway. But again, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm a moron. Sorry, my spelling and grammar go down as my brain battery drains. Yeah, I know the feeling, honey. The ancient Chinese are great warriors. They even invented gunpowder, yes. He was known in China as the Robert E. Lee of the East. LOL. I'll allow it. All right, boys and girls, I got to get up early in the morning and catch a ride to work because my motorcycle's down. So I got to get off of here and hit the sack. I love you guys with all my heart. Excellent conversation. Thank you guys so much for all your input and keeping me on my toes, and the Mongols are not the exception. Yeah. Genghis Khan, that was a real bad dude. He almost ruled the world. Matter of fact, 1 in 5 people are still related to the guy. He was prolific. He was a dick slinger, if you know what I mean. Anyway, God bless you. I love you. Thank you for the great podcast tonight. And I will see you guys on Wednesday, where we may or may not destroy another atheist. I got to look into it and see what it's about. But we're going to do something fun for sure. I'll make sure of it. You guys have a great night. Thanks for watching.